Honorable Minister, I ask you two questions that are interlinked. Cape Verde has leapfrogged. It's now a medium country. The investment climate is considered to be conducive. What have you done in Cape Verde, and what lessons are there for African governments to learn from Cape Verde? Thank you very much.
Good morning to everybody. Thank you, Omar, for your questions. I have a couple of notes. So I'm going to follow my notes to make sure that I'm going straight to the point. So, first question. Cape Verde has made impressive progress in improving its investment climate. How well were able to achieve this? First, I would like to start saying that the government of Cape Verde has felt since the beginning that investment climate, a business environment, was a survival question for Cape Verde, not an option. Not an option, a survival question for Cape Verde. We are only 500,000 inhabitants. I used to say the size of a neighborhood in New York, no more than that. No natural resources, meaning no domestic savings, but a country to build. So we have no alternative other than mobilize financial resources. Public, and we did it in the past 5 years, from the multilateral and from the bilateral, but also private. FDI flows in the international arena. To mobilize public, what Cape Verde did, and I'm making this short introduction so you can understand how the investment climate is very important for Cape Verde. To mobilize public, what we did, we adopt good governance as our flag. We built international credibility. We transformed this international credibility in export merchandise. We managed to have an incredible support from the international community. 75% of our public investment in Cape Verde is financed from external resources, not internal ones, external resources, and most of them multilateral and bilateral. This is to mobilize the public, to mobilize the private external resources. What? We adopt a very strong reform program. If I'm not wrong, in 2011, Cape Verde has been considered within the top 10 reformers in the world. So, to mobilize private investment, we adopt a strong reform program. One of the main axes of this program was exactly to improve investment climate. The first step we did was to set up a strong partnership with ICF. At that time, what were the bottlenecks? Very simple. First, an incomplete and dysfunctional business life cycle. Second, a business life cycle service only available in few locations in the country. Long period for licensed business due to heavy bureaucratic paper based on licensing process. Third, business licensing process not streamlined and high licensing costs. What we did? First, we created a completely new business lifecycle platform. 4 steps: registration, licensing, operations, and closure. Second, we introduced electronic fiscal declarations and fiscal payments. Third, we transformed 32 public gardens in 32 digital platforms with free access to the internet. We increase our penetration rate from 8% to 32%. Fourth, we cover the country, Cape Verde territory, with a strong high max network. As of today, The whole territory in Cape Verde is covered with a strong IMAX infrastructure. Fifth, we connect Cape Verde to a second fiber optic cable. Sixth, in terms of improving the human capital for business environment, we connect about 40% of the schools to the internet and public administration network. We create digital libraries in the university, and we adopt the ITC, so ITC has become a mandatory course in the school program in Cape Verde. Results of this approach. Now, company registration in 1 day for 100 euros. Second, wholesale trading and retail license come from 25 days to 2 days. Tourism licensing from 30 days to 10 days. Travel agency licensing from 15 days to 3 days. Civil construction licensing from 30 days to 10 days, and industrial licensing from 15 days to 3 days. And we hope to start in 2013, so next year, the construction of our first cyber zone in Capital Praia for business, not for the public. Going to your second questions, Umar. What lessons? Three lessons on a micro perspective, and 3 lessons on a macro perspective. Micro perspective, the first lesson, need to engage stakeholders on a constant basis. We cannot implement projects within a room, impossible. We need to engage stakeholders. Second micro lesson, integrated vision for business cycle services. We need to have the whole flow from A to Z before starting doing anything. Third micro lesson, need to identify in detail if existing infrastructure meets project requirements. We cannot invest conceiving, hiring IT guys, etc., start implementing the project, and then notice that the infrastructure is not in place. 3 macro lessons. First, integrated public service constitutes a strong success factor. Second macro lesson, at the end of the day, institutions do matter. We cannot keep investing on hearts, roads, bridges, airports, and ports. We need to invest heavily in the institutions. Third macro lesson, development is possible without natural resources. I believe that Cape Verde is becoming an example that development, economic growth is possible on a with a policy-driven focus. So Cape Verde has come from a GDP per capita of $200 in '75 to $3,200 today. We have been graduated, as Omar just mentioned, and you are about to reach the MDG goals. Thank you very much.
Doing business in Africa, you can't afford to be without Africa Investor.